Hi, I am Allie Camilletti, and you are listening to Snack Leadership. I will be talking about everything leadership, broken down into bite-sized pieces. You will hear what different leadership skills look like in organizations and how they can rise teams up or take them down. I help leaders build resilience and improve performance by bringing awareness to opportunity behaviors in my business. Spark your mindset. I provide leadership and sales coaching, as well as team building and guest speaking. My hope is for you to feel inspiration and to create a spark in your mindset. Hi, everyone. Today we are talking about the leadership skill, public speaking. Public speaking is the ability to deliver concise, engaging, and meaningful messages that help leaders connect with their audience, share insight with confidence, and inspire practical action. Salvatore Manzi is a leadership communications coach who helps leaders amplify their voice and impact in high-stake moments. He's coached speakers at the United Nations, guided founders through major fundraising rounds, including one that exceeded its goal by $100 million, and helped scientists present to national decision makers. Through practical frameworks, he helps leaders communicate with clarity, confidence, and authenticity. His book that's coming out in October of 2026, called Clear and Compelling, turns neuroscience and decades of coaching into actionable strategies for influence. Salvatore, I'm so excited for our conversation today. Thank you.
Thank you. What a lovely introduction. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So let's start off. What's something you've recently learned about yourself?
Something I've recently learned about myself is that I sit in a contradiction of wanting visibility and wanting privacy. As I'm on the precipice of launching my book, I'm recognizing I need to get on platforms and I need to broadcast that this is coming and this is available. At the same time, I'm like, but don't look at me, leave me alone. So I'm sitting in that, like, the duality of wanting both worlds. As an introvert, I prefer solitude and quiet, but I have learned how to own the spotlight when I need to. Right now, I'm just being stretched to own a much bigger spotlight. And that, of course, brings up a lot of, wow, we have a lot to work on here.
I understand that so much and I relate to that. And you kind of alluded to it, but as you were talking, my question was like, what's the fear of the visibility part that really feels so challenging?
There's, public speaking has a lot to do with imposter syndrome. It's
Yep.
very difficult to go into public speaking without imposter coming up, because imposter syndrome comes up whenever our known identity is challenged. So when we begin to operate, when we begin to be seen outside of what we're used to being seen, our identity becomes challenged. And I start to wonder, like, what parts of me are being seen that I don't want to be seen? Or what parts of me are potentially going to come out that I haven't polished and prepared for a public viewing? I don't wake up camera ready.
No.
How do I make sure that I feel resourceful enough to show up? And I have a methodology around imposter syndrome for people in public speaking, which I'm happy to share. First, just to name it. This is the imposter syndrome coming up because I'm stretching outside of my known identity. And this is a good thing. This means growth. Two, reconnect with the body. Breath, connect with the body, ground. And three, take one small action. What's one tiny step forward? I don't need to solve for a problem, but what's one small thing that I can do to support myself, to support the situation, to move forward in the situation? And that helps to soothe the imposter syndrome as it comes up, especially in public speaking. So I'm finding myself, like, every day when I go to put this out there, I'm having to go through that triad and find my way into a better state so that I can put it out there. Thanks for the question. It's very,
Oh, yeah.
hmm,
I want to go somewhere. Can we do a little offline?
yeah.
Okay. So I had an experience recently that I did not care for. I speak all the time. I speak in front of hundreds of people. I feel comfortable with it. Well, I was speaking in front of my daughter's school,
Oh.
and we gather every morning as a community together. And so I know all of these people. I know the kids, I know everyone, right? The teachers, everybody. And as I was getting ready, we were prepping before I was going to speak about this pedestrian flag crosswalk that I was a part of bringing to our community. I started getting nervous.
Mm.
And I'm like, what is going on? Oh, I should have taken my lavender pills, because my lavender pills, I don't know if you ever,
I haven't heard of them, but I get it. Lavender's calming, energetic properties.
you know, that little like intense thing that can happen in your chest where it tightens up when you get nervous. It
No, no.
relaxes it.
No. Oh, okay.
It totally relaxes it. And
Awesome.
so then I was like, oh no, I don't have any time to take my lavender pills. And I'm like, okay, deep breath, Sally. You know how to do this. But my voice was shaking.
Uh,
My voice does not shake, Salvatore. I mean, tell me, what could I have done to have stopped that?
this is great, and it is universal. Anybody out there listening, please know that this is universal. If you don't feel a fear of public speaking, it's a signal that might be something actually off in your makeup. So embrace the fact that, hey, I'm human. If you're feeling that fear that comes up with public speaking, your body starts to shake, you start to sweat, you start to forget what you were going to say. The number one tool is to get back into your body. Bring
Grounding.
yourself back into your body, not into your head, into your body. You're going to be up here in your head, perseverating about like, what was I supposed to say? What's happening? Why is this? Da, da, da. So bring the focus back into your body. Like you can use touch, you can touch the body, you can use a mental visualization of roots grounding out from my feet. You can flex and clench the hands. You can use breath. The trick is on the exhale, not on the inhale. People always say, if you're nervous, breathe. Yeah, it's great. But you want to actually focus on the inhale because that's when your chest cavity is closing and that's when the heart can calm down. So exhale, hold the exhale. It will help you ground again. That's the number one thing. Just get back into your body. I can give you more, but I don't want to go in too deep just yet.
I love that, because I do believe more people struggle with this than we are comfortable talking about.
100%. That's what got me into this. You know, my father was a public speaker. My mom facilitated events, and so I thought, as I grew up, this is my genetic thing. I'm going to do this. I got up on a stage. My voice started to pitch, so I actually lost my voice. I lost my voice. I couldn't. I had to leave the stage. And I realized at that moment, okay, my body betrayed me. I need to understand what this was. And I dove into psychology, understand how my brain is working, what happens when I'm socializing. The whole world of sociology is fascinating. And then I went into neuroscience to like, how does the brain work when I'm hearing stuff? Why do I remember it? Sometimes I don't. And that's why I have come up with strategies and techniques around content. How do you organize your content? Delivery, how do you communicate your message? And presence, what are the beliefs and experiences that are driving the way that you show up in a situation? Typically, when I'm working with somebody, I'm working on one of those three veins. It kind of all comes down to presence, though. What are the unique beliefs that you have that are driving your ability to show up authentically, openly, and expressively as you want to be? And there's techniques and strategies to engender that until you have faked it to the point that you can make it.
Yes, absolutely. And so I love that you kind of went right into your childhood with it, but how did that then shift into your career per se?
As I was putting myself out there and just doing the laps, just doing the laps and getting up on stage and getting up in front of people, I challenge myself, speak before it feels comfortable. I want to get up and I want to because I'm an introvert. I'd rather just read a book or be in a cabin in the woods. Finally, I had to push myself, and each time as I did so, I would ask myself, "What did I learn?" And other people started to notice, "Hey, you're really good at it. Like, how did you?" And then I started, and naturally started helping other people. I started coaching within public speaking training companies, going around the world, leading 1 day, 2 day workshops for organizations or within and corporation, and then eventually created my own book that is going to be coming out in October.
So excited for this.
So my
So, can you share with us? I mean, you did a little coaching for me, but can you share with me maybe when you have watched people that really struggle with it and what that looks like?
Yeah. Well, I want to say that everybody struggles with it in one aspect. All communication is contextual. Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? What's the environment that you're talking in? Everybody I work with has an issue in one of those three buckets. So my job is to watch a person as they're speaking and see where is the lag, where is the disconnect, and what of those three categories is showing up. If it's who am I talking to? I get intimidated by people of authority. I get intimidated by people who are famous. I get intimidated by people who make more money than me. I get intimidated by somebody who dresses better than me. Like, great. Now we know what it is. Let's reframe that
Yeah.
perspective. Let's rewire the brain mechanism in relation to that person so that you can show up and let's test it out. Right. And then I go through the other two buckets as well. If it's something I get intimidated when I'm talking about this topic.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what is it about the topic? Is because that the data is so precise, you're afraid you're going to be 0.001 off when you deliver and you're going to be held accountable for that error? It's true, but how can you communicate what you do know without having to know it all? In a
Yeah.
way, and what belief do you have about like your value is only associated with the amount of perfection and your ability to deliver on that topic, right? So then we do work around that, and sometimes it's the environment, right? I'm really good one-on-one, everything is great, but boy, you put me in front of a group of 10 or more people, like great. So what is it about that? I mean, we all have a fear of a dozen hungry eyes staring at us, right? There is that visceral reaction to it. But what is it? And then how do we over? So every person I work with, I look at what area, what context is triggering the inauthenticity, the performative nature, the I can't do this kind of feelings, and let's work on strategies to bolster that and get you back out there trying.
As I reflected afterwards, I do believe it was because I was so passionate about it.
Mm, yeah,
And I really wanted to make sure I wasn't shaming parents because a piece of this is the parents were not being the leaders with their children and having them use a crosswalk. They've been going straight across the street, and it's our busiest street right through downtown where my daughter's school is. And that was a concern, is that I didn't want to do that. And so I feel like it was the emotions behind it that were
yeah.
coming out.
And it's so, this is, I love that you brought this up because so many of my clients are new leaders. They've been promoted to a role that they're people managing at this point. And what you just nailed is the hardest part because you want to correct behavior quickly, but you don't want to do it in a patronizing way or a limiting way. And one of the tools I use is to separate judgments, feelings, and data. Before I go into that, what's the data? What's my feelings about this? And what's my judgments? Now, let's take those two off and let's focus on the data, delivering it in a neutral tone. And I don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to end up shaming them or I'm going to end up saying the wrong thing because I'm stuck. I'm holding on to the neutral data and I can manage forward. I don't know if that helps listeners, but how did that land for you?
No, I think it lands perfectly. It lands perfectly, and I love that we're having this conversation because a lot of people in the vacation rental industry, we go to conferences and we want those people to speak, and they are not comfortable speaking at
Yeah.
all. So I'm so grateful to have you as a resource to share with them with some tools and your upcoming book. I think it's fabulous.
Yeah.
The other part that I find is I will practice my presentation, right?
Mhm.
Always in my head. I'm not the one that stands in front of a mirror and says it. It's just not how I roll. But I will go through my slides, I will say it, and I will get down my content so I know it. But then I find when I speak, sometimes afterwards, I'm like, I don't even know what I just said.
Yeah. I love this. You're in the flow. And this is a good thing. your brain is always going to look for mistakes. Your brain is wired for survival, so it's hyper attuned to errors and mistakes. And left to its own devices, after you finish your presentation or whatever it is, your brain is going to tell you everything that you did wrong.
Yep.
So the goal is to first give yourself credit. What are three things you did well before you listen to the critic? I've named mine. I
Yep.
call him Perry the perfectionist. Perry comes online whenever I get up to speak and will tell me in the moment, like, this is what you did wrong. You said that wrong. You skipped this blah, blah. And I've learned, like, I have to tell Perry, go sit over there. I'm going to do this. And afterwards, I want to hear from you. But first, I want to talk about what I did well. Then I'll listen to what your recommendations are. And some of them are a little extreme. You need to calm down, Perry. But some of them are valid. I'll integrate that next time. What I'm hearing from you, though, is you get up, you deliver, and then it's gone. Like, you're holding your content and purpose in mind so clearly that the actual words are not as clear. And I imagine afterwards you're reflecting on the people's responses to,
Always.
like,
Yep.
this part landed, that person really connected with this and that. And that's where you're like planning your next connection and how you're going to lead from this. It's great.
You're right, because I remember like the moms shaking their head, like, yes, as I was talking, that kept me going. And the concern on the faces too, because there was another community that lost a child next to a school because of a car going through the crosswalk. And so that was the emotion too that I was kind of struggling with because I'm an emotional person. We're all emotional, but I tend to be a little more like it hits home for me having
Yeah.
a younger child.
Yeah.
So, okay. Uh, what have you witnessed when there's a leader in an organization that isn't comfortable with public speaking? Like, how does it affect the team potentially?
Oh, that is such a great question. And the reality is the mood and the activity, the behavior of the leader, it cascades down, right? Like, we all have bad days. We get stuck in traffic, we can't get a hold, our phone doesn't work. Something is, if we take that into the workplace, it affects everybody around us. When it's the leader, it affects everybody. So when a leader is showing up afraid of taking the mantle and using their voice, it makes everybody else less capable of using their voice. They don't want to shoot over, they don't want to embarrass, they don't want to outshine, they don't want, so it becomes really complicated. It's a crucial skill for anybody who wants to succeed in business to learn how to communicate more effectively, how to shape their message so it's going to be memorable, and how to deliver that message in a way that's authentic. It's natural to be afraid of it, but if you want to succeed, you do need to be able to communicate well.
Yeah, I obviously agree completely. How about a mentor that you've had that's really helped you in this area?
The that I've had in public speaking. I was invited to facilitate an event at the World Economic Forum, and my imposter monster was in full rage mode. It was just, you don't belong here. And my mentor and coach at the time had me on the phone marching around the conference room in the green room and asking me affirmations. These are questions that presuppose a positive answer. Why is your voice important? Why should they hear you? Why is it important that this message gets out? Why is this a critical time? Why should they listen to you? Why is your voice important? And just kept asking me those questions until my mental state and focus was on the positive to such a degree that I walked out there ready to go and ripping and ready. So that was my mentor who really helped me see the value of using the body and the mind to direct my presence in a situation.
I love this. So, what I have also found is I try to understand that if one person walks away with one thing, I have done my job because
This
I always have so much to say. I want to say so much. I want to like dump information on people and have them walk away with, "Oh my gosh, I just learned so much." But that can be a lot of pressure. So if it's just each person walks away with one thing that they're going to think about moving forward, I feel like I have done my work.
Two things, if I could, I'll say about that. Number one, be sure to, as you end, ask for feedback. What did you learn today? Because otherwise, you're going to leave that meeting not knowing if it actually did land. And yes, a nod is a great indicator that something's resonating. But get it verbally, get it orally from people. Like, what actually landed from this? Like, turn to a partner, talk about it, tell me what get the feedback. But secondly, what you're hitting on is so critical and is something that so many people don't do. Know your goal. If you're going to get up and speak, you need to know what's the measure of success. Because if you don't have it in mind, you're going to get to the end of the talk and you're just going to hear Perry criticizing everything he did wrong. And you're not going to have a true measure of if you actually did reach the goal that you wanted to reach.
Yep. Okay. How about a quote that you feel really embodies this great leadership skill of public speaking?
You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present.
So good. I mean, we're talking to hospitality people. I think the biggest thing I talk about with them is perfectionist. Perfectionist tendencies are just so common in hospitality because they're pleasers. They want everybody to be happy.
Right.
And it can really get in the way sometimes in so many different levels.
There are some people that just can't be pleased, and we don't want to compromise, and we can get under-resourced from that, and we can misread cues. I can see so many ways that in hospitality, perfectionism can drive to lack of effectiveness. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you. I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. Okay, so before we go into what is your favorite snack, what do you want everybody to know from our time today?
Growth often comes with the imposter syndrome. So if you ever feel like I don't belong, that's your brain telling you you're growing.
Yeah.
Switch the script on that and take it as embrace it as an opportunity to continue growing, striving, doing new things.
Yes, I so agree. I say if you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing.
Yes.
And that relaxes it a little bit for those people that are learners and want to grow. And they're like, you're right. Oh, I'm growing. Okay, I'm loving this. Okay, so
it's fun. I love growth.
Totally. What is your favorite snack?
Favorite snack is smokehouse almonds. Ooh. And it's ridiculous because I have to serve myself a portion in a little thing and then seal up and put away the bag to prevent portion control. I have no control once I start, and I eat them one at a time. They are amazing smokehouse almonds.
I am the same way with Valencia almonds. Have you had these?
I don't think so. Oh dear. I knew joy.
It's bad. It's bad. I really have to ration myself and be like, all right, you can only have 7 today because they come in these nice little containers. And I mean, before I even get home, I'm in the car
I am. Thank you.
Salvatore, thank you so much for your time today. I'm so grateful for our talk. I'm so grateful for what you're doing for others. It's really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you. And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to Snack Leadership. I hope you felt inspiration, motivation, and felt your mindset spark. Snack Leadership is recorded and produced by myself, Ali Camilletti, and music by Shireen Amini.